afternoon, Pulaski Heights Elementary. I'm really excited to share with you some poetry today. April is actually National Poetry Month, and I really enjoy reading and writing poetry, so I'm excited to share that love with you all. And I today am going to share some poems from one of my favorite poets, and I know a lot of students like Shel Silverstein. He is a favorite of I bet your families, and he's very clever. And the thing that's so great about poetry is that you don't have to really follow any rules. You don't have to worry about capital letters and punctuation. You can make up your own words. You don't have to worry about writing in certain forms. It just lets you be really creative with words, and you can write about anything you want to. And you'll find as I share some of my favorite poems from Where the Sidewalk Ends, you'll see some of those things show up where Shel Silverstein makes up words and he writes about all different kinds of things. And so this book I've had since 1986, and it's well loved, and in fact it's coming apart and it's mildewed from when it got wet in a fire. But I treasure this book, and I treasure being able to share the poems with you. So I've picked out some of my favorites to share with you, and I'm going to just start. The first poem I picked out to share with you is called Orchestra, and it reminds me a little bit of Miss Haskett's music lessons. I think that was last week when she had you using things around your house to make music. So I'll just read it to you. Orchestra. So you haven't got a drum? Just beat your belly. So I haven't got a horn? I'll play my nose. So we haven't any cymbals? We'll just slap our hands together. And though there may be orchestras that sound a little better with their fancy, shiny instruments that cost an awful lot, hey, we're making music twice as good by playing what we've got. Another thing I love about Shel Silverstein is he also did his own illustrations. So they're the illustrations for orchestra. So maybe Miss Haskett should do some music lessons where you just play your nose and play your belly and make some good music. All right, so another poem from the book that is a favorite to me is called The Loser. Mama said I'd lose my head if it wasn't fastened on. Today I guess it wasn't, because while playing with my cousin, it fell off and rolled away, and now it's gone. And I can't look for it because my eyes are in it, and I can't call to it because my mouth is on it. Couldn't hear me anyway because my ears are on it. Can't even think about it because my brain is in it. So I guess I'll sit down on this rock and rest for just a minute. And the illustration is important too. Sorry, my brain working the other way. You can see there where his head is. All right, I've read this one to my class just recently, and we all really enjoyed this poem called Smart. My dad gave me $1 bill because I'm his smartest son, and I swapped it for 2 shiny quarters because 2 is more than 1. And then I took the quarters and traded them to Lou for 3 dimes. I guess he don't know that 3 is more than 2. Just then, along came old Blind Bates, and just 'cause he can't see, he gave me 4 nickels for my 3 dimes. And 4 is more than 3. And I took the nickels to Heron Coombs down at the seed feed store, and the fool gave me 5 pennies for them. And 5 is more than 4. And then I went and showed my dad, and he got red in the cheeks and closed his eyes and shook his head. Too proud of me to speak. That doesn't have an illustration. All right, here's another poem called Sick. I cannot go to school today, said little Peggy Ann McKay. I have the measles and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry. I'm going blind in my right eye. My tonsils are as big as rocks. I've counted 16 chicken pox, and there's one more, that's 17. And don't you think my face looks green? My leg is cut, my eyes are blue, it must be instamatic flu. I cough and sneeze and gasp and choke. I'm sure that my left leg is broke. My hip hurts when I move my chin, my belly button's caving in. My back is wrenched, my ankle sprained, my appendix pains each time it rains. My nose is cold, my toes are numb, I have a sliver in my thumb. My neck is stiff, my spine is weak, I hardly whisper when I speak. My tongue is filling up my mouth, I think my hair is falling out. My elbow's bent, my spine ain't straight, my temperature is 108. My brain is shrunk, I cannot hear, there's a hole inside my ear. I have a hangnail, and my heart it. What? What's that? What's that you say? You say today is Saturday? Goodbye, I'm going out to play. And I love that poem because it makes me think about when we were little and we used to try to tell our mother that we were sick so we didn't have to go to school. I don't think I tried all those things, but we used to try to fake a temperature so we could stay home. It didn't usually work. All right, here's one that's just funny to me. It's just kind of gross, but the name of the poem is Warning. Inside everybody's nose, there lives a sharp-toothed snail. So if you stick your finger in, he may bite off your nail. Stick it farther up inside, and he may bite your ring off. Stick it all the way, and he may bite the whole darn thing off. All right, this is a really good, you can kind of tell my sense of humor just by the poems that are my favorite because I kind of like silly things. And this one is called Dreadful. Someone ate the baby, it's rather sad to say. Someone ate the baby so she won't be out to play. We'll never hear her whiny cry or have to feel if she is dry. We'll never hear her asking why. Someone ate the baby. Someone ate the baby. It's absolutely clear. Someone ate the baby because the baby isn't here. We'll give away her toys and clothes. We'll never have to wipe her nose. Dad says, that's the way it goes. Someone ate the baby. Someone ate the baby. What a frightful thing to eat. Someone ate the baby, though she wasn't very sweet. It was a heartless thing to do. The policemen haven't got a clue. I simply can't imagine who would go and eat the baby. I have two more poems to share with you, and one poem that I chose actually reminds me of being at school and students needing Band-Aids. And so this poem is called Band-Aids, and you can see this illustration here that goes along with it. I have a Band-Aid on my finger, one on my knee, and one on my nose, one on my heel, and two on my shoulder, 3 on my elbow, and 9 on my toes, 2 on my wrist, and 1 on my ankle, 1 on my chin, and 1 on my thigh, 4 on my belly, and 5 on my bottom, 1 on my forehead, and 1 on my eye, 1 on my neck, and in case I might need them, I have a box full of 35 more, but oh, I do think it's sort of a pity I don't have a cut or a sore. Have you ever seen your brother or sister want a Band-Aid and they don't really need one, but they just like Band-Aids? That's why I think that poem is funny. Now, the last poem I'm going to share with you is called a shape poem. And after I finish this video, I'm going to put some links down in the comment section. And I'm actually going to share with you a link where you could go write your own shape poem, or they're sometimes called theme poems, where you can actually write a poem in the shape of the subject that you're writing about. And so this one doesn't have a title, but you can see from the illustration that the illustration is a giraffe. Well, maybe you could tell that. The poem will make it clear. It says, please do not make fun of me, and please don't laugh. It isn't easy to write a poem on the neck of a running giraffe. He's quite a clever man. I'll also include in the comments section a link to a website that has his poetry, and you actually can listen to some audio of him reading poems. It's, of course, a lot better to hear him reading. And some of these poems have been turned into songs, and you can listen to those songs. Another thing that I want to share in the comments is my very, very favorite poem, and I'm going to share it performed by the author. It's called The Car Trip, And I usually show it every year to students, and they think it's as hilarious as I do. It's by a man named Michael Rosen, who was the Kids Poet Laureate of the United Kingdom, and he has some really funny poems, and he performs them really well. So if you have any poems that you really love, or a poem that you write, we would love to see you performing them, or we would love to see what you've written, and you can always share it in the comment section under this video. Have a great afternoon. I hope everyone's learning is going well. Take care.